Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is another Raid Shadow Legends video. Guys, we've got a bunch of new champions that are dropping with this coming patch. I'm on the test server. I'm able to showcase some of these champions, or at least go through them for now. I'm going to do some testing tonight on Twitch. If you want to come and get involved, my Twitch is always down below in the video descriptions. We will be doing a gem giveaway tonight on Twitch at the same time. So come and get in the mix if you want to. So what have we got then? We've got 3 new legendaries, one of which is the fusion. We've got 5 new epics, 4 of which are going to be the fusible epics, and then 4 new rares, which are all going to be duplicated in each of the different fusion makeups. So I can't show you the actual fusion yet because it's not in the test server, but the way it would work is you'd have 4 of the rares here making up an epic. The 4 rares will just be duplicated for each of the different epics. So you'll have multiple chances to get the same rares if you just wanted to try and get one of the epics. So let's go into it then. Let's go through what we've got. I've already done a video on my initial thoughts before I'd seen any stats of Mother Cybele. Yeah, the new fusion that's going to be dropping on the 5th. So 3 days time. Just to back up that video, we're going to obviously test her tonight. We need to test and see, what she can do. But something to call out, she is extremely nippy. 115 base speed is very fast. Nearly 19,000 health is actually solid amount of health. And she's got a high defense. So for a support champion, her stats are good. Yeah? Her base stats are strong. Does she like to read? We've got 6, 9, 12 books. And honestly, I feel like if you don't book this A2, and if you don't book the A3, then she is going to be extremely difficult to make use of. Very difficult to make use of. But when they're booked to 3-turn cooldowns, they're much better skills. Her main ability places 25% decreased speed, goes up to 50% when booked, and gets a bit more damage, another 15% of damage. And the damage is actually based from HP, which is unusual for a support-based champion. She's got a decent amount of HP. But it's her only damage ability. I'm hoping this one hits hard, so that at least it gives us something else. And I really wished... so I was talking about this with a few of the guys. So there's some of my mod team, by the way, who are high-level players and super brains of the game that really like this champion. Like her on paper, think she might be having a passive which kind of feels similar to how Vogoth's passive slightly changed the arena defense game a bit. So there's definitely something there which people are liking about this champion. Personally, I don't really see it yet, but hopefully we see some super brains coming up with some cool stuff for her. So don't completely skip without kind of seeing what she's all about, and we will try and do that in the next day or two. Yeah, but a speed is crazy. I was hoping, I would love to see her just spawn with a revive on death. If she spawned with revive on death, then I think she's got a super fun mechanic that she could actually be an anti-hedgy champ. But anyway, that's enough about her. I've spoken about her already. I still feel like, for me, she's looking like a skip unless something crazy goes on when we're playtesting. So let's go on to the other 2 legendaries that are going to drop. These are obviously not part of fusions or anything. They're just going to be added to the game. Honestly, they're both beasts. Skinwalkers, literally beasts, and great-looking champs, I think. So Teumesia, I hope I said that right. Teumesia is an attack-based void legendary for Skinwalkers. So Skinwalkers are light. They've only got 1 void champion at the minute. They're light on legendaries anyway. And obviously void legendaries are very difficult to get. So they should be solid. So we got this kind of, cool skin. Cool skin. Super nice flaming axe. It looks like should be quick, nimble, with a bit of a smack. 101 base speed is good. Health and defense are okay. They're not great. They're okay. And a pretty high base attack, 1476. I don't see multipliers at this stage. I can't see multipliers from a test server. So what we got? A1, 50% chance to decrease defense, which is a decent A1. 100% chance if there are two, to put it on for 2 turns on the target before attacking if the target's under HP burn. Okay, so it goes from a 50% to 100% if HP burn's out there. Solid. A2 attacks all enemies, can book to 100% chance of placing HP burn for 3 turns. 3 turns is actually pretty big. And we know that HP burn is basically become the new endgame ability, right? It's the only thing that still hits for its proper amount of damage on all of the high Doom Tower bosses, all of the endgame kind of dungeon stuff. So HP burn on an AoE is big nowadays. Also, 100% chance of placing a stun for 1 turn on targets with high turn meter, or a decreased speed on decreased speed for 3 turns if they've got low turn meter. So if they're high turn meter, they're not going to get turned because they're stunned. If they're low turn meter, they're going to take a while to get another turn. It's quite a cool A2. I like it. You're talking about already, though, 3 or 8 books up to 13 books. It's kind of like an average number nowadays that they're pumping out for legendaries, which is a lot, to be honest. A3, then, it's a single target. Damage increases by 40%. It's a massive number. For each HP burn in the battle, up to 400. Soak that one in for a second. 400% more damage potential. Obviously, that's only really feasible in Spider. But in a lot of dungeons, you're going to get a 120% damage buff for 3 enemies out there. Also, 100% if booked. Chance of decreasing the target's turn meter by 15%. Decreases the target's turn meter by another 15 for each active HP burn in the battle. So again, like, I mean, for Spider, that's just a straight up, should just be a wipe out the turn meter. Yeah, for most other mobs, you're talking 15 or 30, up to 60%, I'd say, depending on what's going on with the battle. But I think it's a cool kit. I think interesting kit, super relevant debuffs. You will have to build this champion with enough accuracy to land stuff before you start thinking about damage. So it's another one of these hybrid type of builds. We've got loads of them now. Tons of these champions where you want them to hit hard, but they're also a hybrid kind of debuffer. And then we've also got this, whenever an ally receives a freeze, 50% chance of replacing it with an HP burn for 2 turns instead. This cannot be removed or blocked. So think about the A2. The A3. Damage increases for each active HP burn in the battle. So even if they're on your team, if someone throws an AoE freeze at your team, they swap to HP burns on your own champions, and they increase the damage that Teumesia is going to do. It's kind of cool. I like it. I like it, actually. Whenever an ally or enemy is under HP burn, this champion is immune to basically all crowd control. So pretty much, the way I'm reading it is anyone who tries to freeze your team cannot freeze your team. Freeze becomes totally impossible to do. Totally impossible. All a freeze is doing is powering up Teumesia. It's kind of cool. I like it. I like it a lot. So this is a really fun, different passive and a really fun, different kit. So Teumesia, for me, looks sweet. I don't know in damage numbers, but looks sweet. Leorius the Proud. We've got this kind of lion with a couple of weird little swords hooked at the edge. I guess he's just gonna, I don't know if he's going like rock climbing or if he's gonna actually go and start fighting people. There we go. What's he all about? Yeah, this guy looks cool. This guy looks cool. I like the Skinwalker faction anyway. This guy is going to do it proud, I think. What we got? 2-hitter. Each hit, 60% chance of placing drop defense. Book is straight damage. Another 30% damage. Damage increases by 20% if the target's got less than 60% health. So we just got a double hitter with drop defense. AoE double hitter. Double hitter is important if you're going against people like Rotus and what have you. This is nice. This champion is immune for a passive to all of the massive debuffs. It is on a 3-turn cooldown. So he's immune to it when this skill is not on cooldown. So you can't stun him, freeze him, sleep him, provoke him. Kind of anti the Kaimar meta that's going around right now. Yeah, you can't stop this guy. If he hits hard, then he is going to be a bit of a nightmare to face. He does have quite a low base defense, but he's fast. He's got good damage and pretty good health. So it's kind of similar to Foley passive, but I think with a stronger ability. 3-turn cooldown. Straight up damage books again. And then for his A3, attacks all enemies. 100% if booked, chance of placing True Fear. Before attacking, 100% chance of placing Weaken on all enemies. 4-turn cooldown on this one. So he's got 2 big AoEs. He's got some good debuffs, and he's got a nice kind of passive part to his A2. And he's got an actual passive, which is, I think, going to make him borderline busted. Instantly places Unkillable before receiving Fatal. So basically, Skull Crown is like a legendary Skull Crown at this point. Damage increases as the champion's HP decreases. 1% for every 1% lost. So think about the difference here. With Skull Crown, you nuke her down, you control her so she doesn't nuke back, and then you kill her when the Unkillable drops off. Or you cleanse off the Unkillable. This dude, you nuke him down, he gets his Unkillable up. Yeah, so, and he's going to be at max damage, another 99% of damage coming at you. But you cannot stun him, freeze him, sleep him, provoke him, like nothing. You can clean it off, I guess. You can do a clean off of that debuff, but that makes him extremely dangerous in the arena. Like, for me, he's an out-and-out arena champion. Like, that's the way he's been built for me. Out-and-out arena nuker. He will do work elsewhere, don't get me wrong, but for me, he's kind of built to be almost like an the current meta arena champion, or potentially could be. So, pretty fun. I think he's going to get some playtime. I hope he's going to hit hard to make him worthwhile. He kind of needs to be up there at least with like an ethos smack to make him worthwhile. But if he is, then I feel like he's going to be someone that a lot of the whales really want to kind of punch for. So let's get on to the epics for fusible champions. Now, we've got 5 epics, and they won't tell me which 4 are the fusion epics. They give me a test server. They want me to tell you about this stuff, but they won't tell me which one. So it's a guess. I'll tell you which one I think it's not, but I could be wrong. I'm just guessing. So first one up is actually the champion. I think it's not. I think this won't be part of the fusion because I think he's too good. So Urogrim. Urogrim the Blind, I guess. Another blind fella. So don't rely on him too much for hitting hard. He's got his little paint pot on the side. Yeah, here we go. So what we got going on? Good speed, support champion, good base stats. A1 triple hit. If you book it, it's a 45% chance with each hit of placing poison. So it's like an upgraded Steel Skull, and Steel Skull's known for being quality. Yep, so pretty solid A1. A2 removes all debuffs from an ally, so cleansing an ally. 3-turn cooldown if booked. Got a lot of books here, though. Actually, not too bad. It's about normal. Then heals them by 40%. It's almost identical to Steel Skull's cleanse. Yeah? Almost identical. 40%. I think you get a bit more healing here. And it's a cleanse. It's almost exactly the same. And then A3 places 3 poisons. This goes on a 3-turn cooldown on all enemies for 2 turns. Also 2 heals on your team. This is beautiful. This is lovely. Like, this ability here. 3 poisons out there anyway if you're just fighting one person. But if you're against the whole team, it's like a Taurus-esque throw out a ton of poison. And this is nice against multiple kind of Doom Tower bosses. Even though the poisons don't do max damage, they're still good damage. Wave content. Obviously, Clan Boss still strong. Dungeons like Dragon is strong. For Faction Wars, it's strong. Like, this is a great ability to get, especially with those heals pumping in on top. Speed in all battles by 20% as well. If he is part of the fusion, this is a great epic. If he's not, which I don't think he will be, then he'd probably be someone that a lot of people desire to get. He's a strong epic. So Urogrim looks solid. Let's look at the next one then. So next one up is Tolf, HP-based champion. Got the kind of blades instead of hands. I do not know how this guy's eating. Like, where's his fork? He's got 1 knife. He should have had a fork on the other hand, honestly. Because this guy's going to struggle. I guess he just has to literally mash his face into the plate. So What we got? Pretty slow, 94 speed, good health, okay defense, double hitter. Each hit heals himself for 30% of the damage that he does. It cannot be a crit. The fact that it cannot be a crit makes it weak source unless he hits super hard. If he hits super hard and you don't need to build crit rate or crit damage on someone, then actually it means you can just massively stack other stats like into the roof. So that's an interesting one. Because his second skill here also cannot crit. Let me just see if there's anything about crits here. I don't know why they gave him crit rate or crit damage in his stats. These should be zeros. It's completely pointless. Totally pointless. But his A2 cannot crit. Attacks one enemy when not attacking bosses. Inflicts pure damage. And decreases the target's HP to 50%. Inflicts pure damage and decreases the target's HP to 50%. Inflicts damage based on this champion's max HP instead, and places a stun debuff for one turn if the target has already got less than 50%. Inflicts damage based on this champion's max HP. So instead of inflicting damage based on, based on his HP, based on your crit and then your crit rate, it's literally just an HP smack. I'm interested to try this guy. He's Void EPICS. Again, he could be not part of the fusion. He could be absolutely busted good. We're not sure. But I will be testing him tonight. Inflicts damage based on this champion's max HP when attacking bosses. So I guess he does that all the time. This is a very weirdly written skill. We know that his damage is based on HP. The damage is always on this champion's max HP. I get it, because that's what HP damage is based on anyway. So it's written like it's a different type of skill, unless I'm not getting it. I'll be interested to see how this is coded, if it's coded in a weird way. But pure damage, there's only a couple of other champions in the game. Like Baron does pure damage when he's hitting with his Sky Piercer, and it is an absolute nuke. So this might be an absolute nuke, but two abilities, both of them single target. And then we've got a passive, decreases the value of all enemy shield buffs by 50% at the start of every turn. That's pretty sexy as well. I like it. Then increases the champion's max HP by the same amount, up to 25% of their max HP. So, I mean, he's straight up. I mean, he feels like he's an arena champion, but with single target stuff, I guess. Removing shields. There's not many places where you're going to do that in PvE content, other than perhaps some Faction Wars or Doom Tower waves. He's a very interesting champion because he seems like should be rubbish, but is he going to be good? Is he going to be very hard to kill and pumping out big hits? Even if he pumps out big hits, it's all single target stuff. He's got a weird kit. I'm interested to try him. So that's one of the other epics. Got a few more epics to do. So next one up is a Demon Spawn. Magnarr. So Magnarr looks weird. It looks weird. It's basically Lodric, but in Demon Spawn form with a hammer, with a mallet. So yeah, Magnarr, what's going on then? A1 attacks an enemy. If you book him, 65, is that? 65% chance of placing drop defense. A lot of drop defense champions in this patch. 100% chance instead if they've got an HP burn. Okay, all of his damage is based on HP here, and he's got decent HP, decent speed. So the base stats are good. AoE A2, HP base damage again. Places an extra hit on champions without HP burn. 50% chance of placing a stun with HP burn. All of the booking here is for damage. 30% more damage. So again, if that hits hard, that could be cool. A3 attacks one enemy. Debuff spreads. Taking 2 random debuffs from the target and placing them on all enemies under HP burn. So there has to be an HP burn already out there for him to spread the debuff onto them. Also increases the duration of HP burn debuffs on all enemies by a turn. So looks like there's already got to be an HP burn out there. If there is, he does a bunch of other stuff. And he only spreads the extra bits to HP burn champions. Or enemies, sorry. Will not spread fear, true fear, freeze, provoke, sleep, or stun. So no, he won't spread control. He's only going to spread like damage enhancing abilities. And then a passive, this champion heals by 1% of their max HP every time anyone in the battle takes damage from HP burn. That's interesting. But he doesn't place HP burn himself. So everything in his kit is better with HP burn, but he doesn't place HP burn. For me, that's just like an absolute... It's a no. It's a no for me. Like, he's on fire. He should be placing the burn, surely. Anyway, the ally defense in Doom Tower, fine. I guess he's probably made to pair up with somebody like the dude that you get from Doom Tower, Akoth, who's throwing out the HP burns, or Mordecai or someone like that. But for an epic, he's got some stuff going on. Be interested to know how hard he hits again. But yeah, I mean, it's not a bad epic. It's not a bad one. Okay, so next one up, we've got a dwarf. Funky looking new champion. She looks like a doll. She looks like a porcelain type of doll. Very, like, I am freaked out by this champion. Totally. In fact, I think this artwork was released a long time ago. I'm just remembering it. I feel like we saw this artwork quite a long time ago, actually. 109 base speed, good defense, good HP. So, again, base stats for a support-based champion all make sense. Damage based on attack. So, she's probably not going to hit much. And, in fact, she doesn't really hit. She doesn't really hit. So, you know, even if she does damage, it's probably not worth building her with any damage. A1, attack one enemy. 40% chance of increasing the cooldown of one of the target's skills by 2 turns at random. It kind of screams like Urogrim, I guess, for an A1. Or it screams Arena, kinda. Or, you know, Faction Wars, kinda. It's okay. A2, 100% if booked. Chance of placing sleep on all enemies for 1 turn. For me, sleep's like the weakest debuff because, you know, you get someone else does some sort of clumsy AoE or whatever, or even just a single target, you wake them up just before they go. It's annoying. It's not really that strong. Whenever an enemy loses a sleep, though, 50% goes up to 60, 70% chance of replacing it with fear. That's bookable to a 3-turn cooldown. So there's no damage here. There's nothing else. You sleep them. If they wake up, they've got a chance of being feared. Honestly, for an A2 ability, it's not good enough for me. Like, it's interesting, but there's no damage that comes along with it. There's no buff for your team that comes along with it. It's straight up just not good enough, I think. Comments below. Am I missing that one? I feel like it's just not good enough. A3 places a sleep debuff on an ally. Heals that ally for 50% of their health and fills their turn meter by 50% whenever the sleep debuff expires or gets removed. Heals that ally by 100% and completely fills their turn meter if the sleep debuff is lost due to taking damage from an enemy. I mean, that's interesting. It's a 2-turn cooldown, single target ally, but it's a way of pumping somebody up in the turn order, I guess. I still feel like, I mean, you got speed in all battles already, fine. She's quick. Honestly, I think the champion's interesting, but I think she's going to be absolute trash. I can't see anyone using this to any kind of weird effect. Maybe this is some sort of... There could be something funky with Clan Boss going on, or in the arena, something funky going on. But honestly, you have to have gone first for this to happen anyway. So you're already in a position where you can win the race. Like, it's not helping you to win the race or push someone forward because you've already won the race. You won the race, then you've let yourself go. So I don't really know where this works. I guess after a bit of playtesting, maybe we find some fun stuff out with this. But it's definitely a weird mechanic. There probably will be some stuff over time that people do that makes this cool. But in my head right now, I can't see it. Okay. So last one for epics. And again, 4 of these 5 are going to be the fusion. Urogrim, HP-based champion, the flag holder for the Shadowkin. Okay base speed, pretty good. Anything close to 100 is pretty solid. Good base health, good base defense. Don't forget his damage is based on health, so 21k, not too bad. So A1, decrease attack. I like that. It's one of my favorite type of A1s, to be honest. It gives you a lot of variety of where you could use them in PvE content. 60% chance to place it. It's not bad. It's not bad. And it goes on for 2 turns, yeah. A2 places a shield on this champion for 2 turns equal to 25% of their health. Then attacks. Places a provoke for 1 turn. Single target. If the target's max HP is equal or lower than this champion, the provoke cannot be resisted. So you don't need accuracy to land it. Albeit you need accuracy for his A1 anyway, so it's kind of like whatever. I guess maybe for Magma Dragon, if you're struggling with getting enough accuracy to do stuff, then this could be good. But 3-turn cooldown, even if you book it, it's not really enough. A3 attacks one enemy, will ignore 25% target defense. Also ignores unkillable block damage. Single target again. So everything's single target. Single target provoke. So far, blah, to be honest. A1's okay. Other than that, pretty blah. Will receive 25% less damage from enemy attacks when this champion's HP drops to 50. Increases HP aura. Absolute average champion. I can't see anyone really being that fussed with Urogrim unless you don't have a decreased attack champion for a clan boss, and then he's okay. Way better ones out there. So for me, average, average, average. Let's talk about the rares then. So we've got 4 new rares. Are they any good? Are they going to be worth anyone's time? Lumberer. Urogrim tribes. Massive dude. Literally carrying tree trunks for his weapons that have been sharpened. Pretty funky looking. No defense, no speed. This dude is like all or nothing. A1, decrease attack. Weak source, decrease attack. Forget about it. A2, big boy, decrease defense. 3-turn cooldown, 75% chance of placing it. It's just kind of like whatever. A3, increased crit damage buff on himself, then attacks all enemies. I mean, unless this is an absolute cannon of an ability, this guy is straight up in the bin. Next guy, Demon Spawn. We've got Hellfreak. Very slender. Very slender. Bug Eyes. What's going on with this guy? Big boy, decreased defense, A1. Good. 20% chance to land it. Goes up to 40. It's okay. A2. 50% chance of stealing all buffs before attacking. Goes up to 75%. It's okay. Pretty cool. And then A3 swaps HP with an enemy, then grants an extra turn. So if he's low health, he swaps HP, then he goes and nukes that person. 4-turn cooldown if booked. Slightly interesting, but I mean, fast as well. But super low defense. Like this defense number, 650. Damn, it's so hard to keep him alive. So pretty situational. Can't see it. Can't see him being played. Night Revs. We've got the Void one, Ashwalker. Big old anvil on the end of his staff there. Smack people, I guess. Quite cool looking. Good base speed again. Good base attack. Very, very low base health. This is less than 11,000 health and 800 defense. Makes him extremely difficult to keep alive, unless his kit tells me otherwise. Attacks one enemy. Resets the cooldown of Devastator if he kills someone. We get onto Devastator here. Attacks one enemy. Books up to 85% chance of placing a stun. Decreases the turn meters of all enemies by 10% if it's a crit. It's a very average A2. A3 is an AoE. 75% books to 100 of placing weak source weaken. Who cares about that? Speed in all battles. Honestly, I can't see. Like, who's going to use him? I don't know. And then the last one then. Come on, give us something better. Give us a good rare. Candle Guard. Wowzers. This one is shocker. What is going on with this skin? What is going on? She's got her oven mitts. I couldn't even tell you what she's hitting you with. What is that? It's like Wolverine but went wrong. She's got a little crossbow on her back, and she's got candles on a helmet. She's got candles on a helmet, guys. Another weak defense champion, fairly slow. A1, 40% chance of removing one random buff, 50% chance of stealing it if there's 3 or more out there. Goes up to 60 and 70. It's okay. AoE A2, weak source weaken. I wish they just weren't even in the game, to be honest. Increase attack, increase crit rate, both the weak versions on this champion, then does an AoE. So 2 AoEs. I guess that's someone we need to check if she does damage. Like 2 AoEs on one champion. 3-turn cooldown, 4-turn cooldown. If she does damage, maybe she's worthwhile. It's going to be another magic affinity. I can't see her hitting like one of the starter champions hits. I can't see it, but maybe she will. Maybe she's going to surprise me and I'll be like, great. Actually, she's better than we thought. So that's it, guys. That's it for the new champions. I really like the look of the new 2 legendary voids. They look super cool. A couple of the epics are interesting, but let me know below. Is there any of those epics that you're more interested in seeing tonight on stream or seeing generally for guides than the actual Fusion legendary champion? I've been Hell Hades. I will see you later.